This week on Ace on the House.
The thing that's crazy about these kids, it's insane. They constantly think they can get me busted. Like, they're like, I'm going to tell Mama. It's like, are you fucking nuts? I'm going to tell Olga. Like, they'll threaten me. I was like, I'll fire her ass. I'll fire Mama. I'll fire everybody. What do you think
I'm in
this is?
charge.
They have no
Don't you know?
They have no idea. I tell them all the time. I pay for everything. I do whatever the fuck
Well, that's why they want to turn you in.
I know. I'm waiting till Olga finds out.
Check out an all-new episode of Ace on the House this Saturday, or visit aceonthehouse.com, only on the Ace Broadcasting Network.
Hello, my little love muffins. Before the show starts, I just wanted to say just a few things. Just a few things. But I'm going to say it like this, just a few things, because I have my own quirky way of mispronouncing things. 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 It's just one of those things. Anyway, my guest on the show that you're about to hear is Fred Armisen. I hope you enjoy it. He's super funny. And let's see, what do I need to tell you about that? Well, okay, people have been up my hiney about the fact that I tend to apologize before the show starts, so I'm not going to do that. There are things I could apologize for, or at least address, and you guys would think I'm apologizing, but I'm not going to. I'm going to allow you to listen to the show on its own merits, and then maybe next time I'll tell you what it was that I would have said. But what I'm going to say right now is I have announced that I'm going to do a segment called Best iTunes Comment of the Week. Or maybe something that's a little catchier than that, but it's, I'm going with the straightforward title now. And I forgot to do it on the show, so that's why I'm doing it now, before the show. And just because I'm indecisive, I'm going to read, it's not that, it's that I'm going to kick it off with a bang. I'm going to read you 3 comments that I received, and I liked them. Okay, here's one. It says, "Great show," and it's by Mrs. Jones 92101. "This has quickly become my favorite podcast. I've never heard most of Alison's guests, but I've ended up becoming fans of every single one of them. My only complaint is it's only once a week." Thank you, Mrs. Jones. And then also, here's another one. "Awesomeness." It's from Jessie, 7D. "I love Alison Rosen. She is incredibly witty, self-aware, intelligent, appropriately but not excessively self-deprecating, and hilariously funny. Hearing Alison talk about relationships with her wonderful guests is exactly what I need in my life right now. Thank you, Alison." And in this segment, I'm not only going to read comments that are super ass-kissy, and I don't mean ass-kissy in like flattery will get you everywhere, but also why are you just blowing smoke up my ass? I don't mean it in that way. I just mean these comments are very like up with Alison, and I like that. But to be read in this segment, you don't have to be that way. Okay, and there's one more. And here it is. "Great show," and this is by Long Racing. "Alison," he misspelled my name, that's okay. "Alison does," arguably my parents did as well, "Alison does a good job getting funny and interesting people on her show. I love her because she isn't perfect. She's a normal person interviewing other people. I'd recommend it highly." I'd like to know what he means by not perfect and normal, but I think I know what he means. So anyway, this whole segment really is my way of saying please leave iTunes comments because I love them and I read them. And I especially love ones with 5 stars. So whatever you're doing right now, drop it. I don't care if you're cooking or holding a baby, drop it. And go to iTunes and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you're near a computer that's not yours, it's your friends, definitely subscribe them to this podcast. And then rate this episode with 5 stars. And then just begin leaving comments. Just do it. It'll feel good. And it feels good for me. And also for producer Gary. So let's see, what else? What else do I want to tell you right now before this episode starts? I love you, and you can follow me on Twitter at Alison Rosen. You can follow the show's Twitter, and by the way, I'm saying this now because I forgot to do it in the show. I don't know what the hell happened to me. You can follow the show's Twitter feed at ARIYNBF. And also, you can follow me and the show on Facebook. And just search, you'll find it. And you can follow Gary at GPatrickSmith. And did I already say I love you? I did. I'm full of love for you right now. Okay, I love you. Here's the show.
You're listening to the Ace Broadcasting Network.
Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison. Who's your new best friend?
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it's me, Alison Rosen, your new best friend. Welcome to Alison Rosen is your new best friend. My guest tonight, although maybe it'll be morning when you hear this, so my guest this morning for you is Fred Armisen, television and movies Fred and animated things Fred Armisen. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
Thank you
nice
so
to
much.
Be here. My pleasure.
For doing this. I know that you're not in town for that long and that you squeezed it in after I texted you. And I believe in one text I said, I'm sorry that I'm up your butt about this.
You did?
Yeah. Did you not get the up the butt text?
I don't seem to remember that.
No.
It never felt like you were bothering me. I was happy
you're
to do
nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So before this started, we were talking about cars, and then I said, "Wait, save this for the show."
Yeah.
This is, and then I started to explain to you that I had made a list here. I jotted down a bunch of notes of things that I wanted to talk to you about, and car is even on them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
see, we are not only having a conversation, but we're being efficient in terms of getting through the list.
Yeah.
So you are leasing a car.
Yeah, I needed a car for Portland. Mm-hmm. And I was sick of renting cars up there, so I was like...
Wait 1 second. Fred Armisen of Saturday Night Live in Portlandia. I meant to say that earlier.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean, everyone knows who you are,
You
but
could have
just
said
in case.
Neither. It's okay. Doesn't
But when you
matter.
say Portland, they need to know.
Oh,
exactly
I spent my whole
why.
summers there.
Yeah.
So I was gonna rent a car. I was like, I'm sick of doing that. Like, I want to have a car there.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose an Audi, like a black, like one of those A3s that's kind of hatchbacky, so you can put stuff in the back. But then I saw Adam Carolla here, and I was getting his advice as to whether I should buy it or lease it.
Right.
He said leasing is good if you have a company, and then and that's it. And I bought it here, but I have to have it shipped to Portland. I hope no one construes this as boring. So too bad. Talking about these
This
intricacies.
is the day-to-day stuff that they need to know.
And I wanted to drive it up there, but there's all kinds of laws. You can't just drive on a California highway thinking. I wanted to go and say, hey, I'm registering this in Oregon. Mm-hmm. That's not allowed. You have to register it here, pay taxes and all this stuff. So it's forget it. The advice was to go ship it, so that's what I'm doing.
Gary is nodding fervently. Have you run afoul of the law? And also, could you put up the time code thing?
I absolutely will. I have not run afoul of the law, but I have a friend who did a similar thing who wanted to purchase a car in New York and register it in Arizona, and he was planning to drive it, but they won't let you. You have to register it somewhere in order to drive it on the road.
Yeah.
So if you're at the dealership and you want to drive it to another state, you either have to ship it there so that it's not physically driving or...
It's so weird. And there's tax stuff too.
What a pain.
What a pain. It's not willy-nilly. You just jump into a car and drive and then
right.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be yeah, don't worry, I'll register as soon as I get to Portland, but that's not the deal.
And it also seems like getting in a car and driving from one place to another should be the most freewheeling of transportation.
There should be some kind of a sticker that you put on it, okay, purchased in California,
right,
with the intent, blah, blah, blah.
Like a provisional registration.
Yeah. Because it's the same country.
Yeah. Don't they know who you are?
Yeah, and also America, we all drive all over the place.
Right. A lot of us are uninsured. I mean, I'm insured.
Yeah, I'm
but
insured.
There's a lot of if you've ever been out there and you've been hit by someone, chances are they're uninsured.
That happens apparently. That's a terrible thing. But just to finish out that thought, I saw Adam and I made him guess what kind of car I had, and he guessed a Mini Cooper.
No, I did. Oh no, both of us did.
He did.
Yeah, and then you were saying right, and then I guessed a Prius. First, I guessed a Volvo. I'm sorry.
I'm renting a Volvo. I love Volvos.
Dana Gould loves and drives a Volvo.
They're great. That would be my second choice.
Do you remember that movie? Was it called Crazy People? It was about people in an insane asylum who got jobs at I'm butchering the movie, at an advertising agency,
No.
and the whole. It was funny. I think Dudley Moore was in it. But the whole thing was that they were going to tell the truth in their ads, and so for Volvo, it was boxy but cute. Oh, and Gary seems to know this movie too, right? And wasn't it something because you're not going to get a hand job from a Swedish model.
It sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
From 1990.
I thought it was longer ago than that, although 1990 is 22 fucking years ago.
How about that?
That's crazy. So anyway,
God.
but you were saying, I can't believe you guys thought that I would get a Mini.
I'm not against minis. I've driven them, and I actually really like them. They're good for New York.
Yes.
But I like, they're fine. I'm not against them. It's just funny that's what you thought I would have driven that.
Well, because you said that it would be a car that's good in a city and that it's not too big and not too small. Although
Yeah.
I guess that is a real small car.
That's more. That's smaller. That'd be good for like New York, I think.
I find that Minis actually are kind of a bumpy ride.
Well, definitely.
Is that part of their charm? Because I'm not charmed by that.
It's like more European.
Okay.
You know,
Is
some
that
people
good?
like that. Some people like, I think, the feel of like that they're really driving.
Right.
You know.
Like there's nothing between them and the gravel.
Yeah, I
the
think
Autobahn.
I think that's the idea. I don't know, but I don't mind that it's a bumpy ride.
Do you have a lot of padding on your butt?
Yes,
Sufficient? You look like you'd have a bony butt.
I have a bony butt, but I purchased. I have medical padding
You do not.
that was prescribed to me.
Wow.
No, I have no padding on my butt. I have I've got a bony butt.
And yet you like the Mini.
Yeah.
Do you ever get one of those cool seat covers with the beads?
No, I don't get anything.
You don't get accessories for it. You don't get like
I
a
don't
bra
know.
for the front of your car.
No. I like, I like a nice stereo system. I like an iPod connector, but I don't get like stickers or beads or anything in anything in life. I don't like.
What's your home decor like?
I like it dark and spooky.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I like it a little scary looking, a little red and black and brown.
Where's Halloween?
Halloween is
your
favorite
like holiday list.
I love it so much, and I just love like the colors of Halloween. I really hope someday my house will be like a Halloween house. And I don't mean like the goofy Halloween, like
Right.
"Bleh, skeletons. I mean like truly scary.
Like a horror house.
Yeah, I really do like dusty candelabras. I like weird paintings. I like bloody paintings.
How do you feel about clowns?
Clowns? That doesn't appeal to me because that to me is like, I don't mean that I don't like clowns, but clowns as horror, as something that's scary. To me, I'm over it. I never got into that. Like, ooh, clowns are scary. That's a separate thing.
You're too cool for clowns.
Yeah, I'm too cool for clowns.
I have bozophobia.
But real clowns are fine. They're fine. I have nothing. I don't feel either way about them. But as horror, I don't buy into that school. For me, it's vampires. It's like vampires.
For horror, does it have to be something that's supernatural?
No, I don't like too much supernatural. I like more sort of gothic, just a sort of British feel to it. I like Hammer films from the 60s.
Okay.
No, that sound you made, the judgment for that isn't like that. It's not. It's like, oh, I don't know if that's good. It's great. It's something that the reaction is like, that is awesome. I can't wait to see your house.
That's what means.
No, I thought you
You
were like,
should see me when I'm really not excited.
oh, I thought you were like, oh, that doesn't sound impressive to me.
No.
And because I'm not impressed with myself. I am
Wait,
more.
So you need other people to be impressed with you.
It's not that.
'Cause I am.
There's other people who have
Very.
truly good, scary houses, and I am so jealous, and I wish I had the things
like
that they
who?
had.
Who's a true scary house
I know a
person?
guy. I know a guy in Nashville who it's kind of more of his office, kind of, but he's got like coffins. I mean, he's got like he really did it up in a way that I'm like very jealous.
What attracts you to that? Now, see, you have to understand.
The aesthetics of it is like the aesthetics are just like the best. It makes you. It's like makes you feel like you grew into your childhood. Like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I loved vampires so much. And it's like you want to grow up to be like close to something like that. Also, the artist Joe Coleman, he's this painter in Brooklyn. He's got this sort of studio, and he's got wax figures from old wax museums. It's so truly scary. It is really scary.
See, I just don't like being scared. It's like I don't have that gene that everyone else has where they enjoy being I like roller coasters if they're not too scary. But in terms of watching scary movies, some of my worst memories, like I was at a birthday party. I saw Exorcist, and I didn't even see it. I was hiding under a blanket. It haunted me for probably 6 months after that. And I can remember hearing about different horror movies, like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which is sort of a comedy, or like a dark comedy, actually.
It's pretty scary.
But I didn't even see it. Just hearing about it scared the crap out of me. And yeah, like I don't like haunted houses.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
I like
all.
puppies. I like cute things.
I don't like puppies. I don't like dogs.
You don't?
No.
You don't like puppies or dogs?
I like some dogs.
What kind of animal? Do you like animals? Some people don't like animals. at
I
all.
like cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like kittens?
I love kittens. I don't dislike dogs or puppies.
I think you do. I feel
but-
like you do. I feel like you're backpedaling now.
I am a little bit because I know that when I meet some dogs, I'm like, oh, this is a nice dog. But I love being scared. That movie, The Strangers, I could watch it over and over. I love it.
But is there a distinction between true fear and
Yes.
fright?
Yes.
Let's say.
Like there is a distinction because it's not like when I watch The Exorcist, I'm not like I am really scared. It's more like ooh, I'm like movie scared.
Right.
That's a different thing. I don't like being scared for my life in a bad part of town or like near a highway.
Yeah. See, I went on a really, really bad judgment, stupid, awful date with this guy who turned out to be like a white pride guy, and he decided that we should go off-roading late at night in some canyon, and we did, and I sort of...
Why did you agree to that? Off-roading,
I didn't know...
outdoor garbage.
Oh, my
there's
God. Yes.
No, right away, you just say, I'm not doing that. A date.
I was drunk. I don't know what I was thinking. I was playing in a band. It was like an all-day concert, and he was working at the venue, and he was really cute, and I was really stupid, and it was like, let's just keep this party going. And then it went from fun to, oh my God, I'm in a canyon with a stranger. It's so dark. There's like pine or like we just drove past something, and a tree branch reached into the car and fucked with my hair.
Yeah.
And
Awful.
And he might kill me, and I am truly scared. I'm truly frightened and ashamed. But anyway, but
Don't
that
be ashamed. That's okay.
No, I'm not now, but then I was.
Yeah.
See, because my parents were out of the country at the time, and I just had this vision of being in the hospital in traction and them coming to visit me and just shaking their head at me, being like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well,
It didn't happen, though.
That's
lived.
what growing up is all about. Mm-hmm. You learned your lesson. Nothing horrible happened.
True. But
I don't
that
like
whole
that-
experience was like, that was like true fear.
Yeah.
But to me, that's very similar to movie fear.
Oh, really? No. Because movie fear, your life is never threatened.
That's true. Did you see Skeleton Key? With what's her name? Kate Hudson. No. It was a movie that I actually laughed through because it was very hokey and very cheesy, and then the fear started setting in as I was just getting home, and then I was scared for a long time after that. I don't know, they just get under my skin.
Yeah.
That's why I like movies with puppies.
I can't think of any movies with puppies.
Marley and Me, but that's not one that I've even seen or like.
Yeah.
It's more like movies with puppies to me is not even necessarily literally movies with puppies. I just mean in general, cute.
Lighter movies?
I like comedies.
I like comedies too. We went from home decor
Yes.
to movies. I don't live by horror movies, but
I
like I would, my dream is eventually to have a house that has a fake graveyard in the back.
But you mean like a serious fake graveyard as opposed to a fun sort of haunted, like Disneyland Haunted Mansion fake
I actually
graveyard?
would go a little closer to the Disneyland version in that like sort of crooked tombstones kind of, So, yeah.
So what are you in town doing?
I just have a bunch of work to do.
But
I love it here. It's a great city. I love LA. And there's always all kinds of stuff to do. Mm-hmm. I did an episode of Up All Night, the Maya Rudolph show, or however you want to call it.
Right, with Christina Applegate and
And
Will
Will
Arnett.
Arnett.
And they are a couple who just had a baby but is still trying to be cool.
Yeah. So I did that. I mean, I don't know. I did a bunch of stuff.
Who
but
did you play?
A trainer. from Maya's trainer.
Fun.
Yeah, but I mean, me talking about what work I've done, it doesn't seem. I feel like not embarrassed. I just feel bad. I feel
I'm
like
gonna cross Up All Night off my list.
I'm
along
sorry,
with-
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's okay. Hey,
I
this
just don't
is
wanna
your
make-
show.
I don't
of
want-
my
no, this is
show.
your show. This
I
is
know,
your show, and I
but
don't want-
no, but it's okay.
I just don't want. I want you. I want this to be special. This is your house.
Well, in my house, sometimes I ask people about their work.
I know, but then I worry that I'm like, hey, I'm working on these great projects, and I mean, it's just stuff, you know.
Okay. Well, maybe you could just tell me what the voiceover thing you were doing was, unless you don't want to. That's cool too.
That was for a movie, and then I also did Nick Kroll's show. You know Nick Kroll, the comedian?
What show does he have?
Yeah,
Yes, I
the
love
lead.
him.
He's starting.
Oh,
he's starting a show on Comedy Central. So I shot an episode of that.
Oh, that's awesome news.
Yeah,
Sorry.
He's
No,
great.
no.
Love me some Nick Kroll.
He's
Feel
brilliant.
free to chime
He's
in,
brilliant.
Gary.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
I loved Nick Kroll as well.
And then tomorrow I'm doing a show called Bob's Burgers.
Oh, my friend is a writer on that. See, now I'm doing that thing that you were afraid you were doing, which is sounding self-congratulatory and being like, look at me.
No, you did not come off that way.
I think I might have.
No, you did not.
So okay, thank you. So, Fred Armisen,
Yes, Allison.
when did you realize that you could do impressions?
Very early on, when I was a little kid, I would do impressions of teachers, of people who lived on my street. I did an impression of, people who lived on my street for my parents. So very early on, and then all through high school, all the time.
Was it getting the voice right first, or was it a facial thing, or what was
Well,
it?
I'd say voice. That sounds about right. Mm-hmm. But I don't even know why I was doing it, but I did it all the time.
Who was the first famous person that you did? Do you know?
Wow, that's a good question. I cannot remember. I don't remember. I wish I had a good glamorous story of like, yeah, actually, but I don't remember who. I don't know who that would have been. Because it would have been when I was a kid. I bet you, chances are it was an impression of an impression. Like it was maybe like Carol Burnett doing somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're a kid, you just mimic whatever. So it might have been something like that. Or Benny Hill doing somebody.
And is it is it innate? Is it almost like playing music by ear, or because see?
Yeah, it's like playing music. It's like just like that.
Okay.
Because you don't even realize it's happening.
So you don't have to go stand, or do you have to go stand in front of a mirror and kind of?
No.
No.
It's like, in fact, it's probably counterproductive to stand in front of a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's different for everybody. For me, it's like, before I start doing them, I think, I might be able to do that person. So I'll see somebody, I'll go, I feel, that seems like that's someone I could do. And then I'll just keep trying it. And then sometimes I look at a photo of the person. Because photos say a lot, you know.
Is it something that you do for fun, or is it strictly a work thing? Okay, like I saw you on Real Time with Bill Maher, which is something that you did while you were in town.
Yeah.
And you did just
I
a very
did
brief little
Real
impression
Time
of him.
I did Real Time with Bill Maher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did like a little impression of Bill Maher. Now, obviously you did that because you were going on the show, but like in your, like, okay, it's a Tuesday, you have a day off, let's say. I have no idea what your day off schedule is, but let's just say, would you just bust, like, be like, I think I can, so
in
it's
my
sort
car
of like a
or
hobby.
something. Yeah. Alone, I'll just start doing it and see what it sounds like.
I'm very envious of that because, see, I have a younger sister who's not involved in performing at all, but she's actually a very good impressionist. And like, I remember she was young and she did an impression of Kermit, which was like putting her lips in this sort of lopsided way. And she's just good at stuff like that, or she's just good at mimicking. She can do facial expressions and things like that. Whereas I always think maybe I can do it, and then whatever I do is something so different than the thing that I'm trying to imitate that it just made me realize that what it feels like when I set my face in a certain way is really not at all what it appears. Like I don't have a good sense of what my face looks like when I move my muscles in a weird way.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's like I'm a like retarded, spastic person trying to be graceful.
But there still could be something in there. You could like, It doesn't have to be exactly like what the thing is, but if it entertains you,
Oh, I'm very entertained by myself.
there might be something to it.
Yeah,
Impressions.
It's just bad impressions.
I even think that impressions don't have to be that great. I think like, as long as you're attempting, as long as it seems like you're having fun, and you want to do it, that's all that matters. I don't know. I've watched so much stuff on TV that I'm like, I just enjoy the performer. I don't care whether or not it's good. I think greatness is overrated. You know.
Thank you. So I actually wanted to ask you, what do you watch? What TV shows do you watch?
Game of Thrones.
Are you excited for it to
Can't
come
wait.
back on?
Can't wait for it to come on. I can't wait.
Second that.
It's gonna be so. I really was left hanging.
I
last
know.
year.
I can't believe how it ended.
And that little boy king. Screw
Oh.
that guy.
I hate him.
Screw
I
him.
can't stand him.
I hope they start the new season
With
right
him
away
dead.
with him. And it's the only time they have a gun and they shoot him.
Yes. Yeah. It wouldn't even bother me that it doesn't make sense.
He's his little scowl.
He reminds me of people that I went to school with.
He is the worst.
Blonde jerks.
Ugh, the worst. And his mom like looking over him. That's an illegitimate. Also, then he's not supposed to be king.
Right. The whole thing. It's a travesty.
I was upset about that, and then I remembered because they ripped up that contract or whatever. But you can't get mad at them. You have to be mad at the guy who was supposed to protect it. He sort of handed over this document and was like, "Here, look," and she ripped it up. I don't know if you remember, but
Now I'm forgetting who was supposed to protect it. Was it some eunuch?
I don't know. I just think that those things have to be protected more than just. They put themselves at the mercy of that king.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about that. I like Downton Abbey.
I am late to Downton Abbey, but I'm just finishing up the second season now.
That's all there is.
But I mean, I was very late to it because I just watched the first season and the second season.
Oh, well, you're
within
good.
the space. Yeah, no, I know. But there's some Christmas special or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It took me a little while to get into Downton Abbey because I thought I don't understand what's going on. What's an entail? But then now I'm with it. I'm up to speed.
Well, good.
Yeah. So I really like that show.
What do you watch? What do you like?
Well, I just saw the fifth season premiere of Mad Men.
What'd you think? I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't. I liked it. There's a song. I'm going to warn you. There's a song that will get stuck in your head.
Wow.
And you don't want it there.
Okay.
So be on guard for that.
Okay.
And I mean, you watch Mad Men? You just haven't
Yeah.
seen. Okay. They jump ahead a few years, so that took me.
They always jump ahead a few years.
Yeah. Well, they did. They've done it again. And that was a little jarring, just because it's like a very different era all of a sudden. But I thought it was good. Yeah, so I watched that. I record Gossip Girl, but I don't watch it anymore. But my DVR does.
How often is it on?
Gossip Girl?
Like, how many
I think
episodes is it? Like, per season?
I don't know. I feel like we're on the 5th, 6th, or 7th season.
Wow.
And there's a lot of them. Wait, I was just thinking of another show that I watch. Well, Facts of Life. I mean, I don't watch that currently because there are no new episodes. But that has been my favorite show for a long time.
Still?
Well, I think I hang on to it for nostalgic reasons.
Wow. How does
It was my favorite show.
How has it aged?
Pretty well. I stumbled over that. I mean, obviously when you watch it looks like a really old show, and it is hugely a nostalgic thing for me. But when I watch the old episodes, I'm actually taken aback by how they dealt with a lot of issues, and there was a lot more going on than I think people give it credit for. Because there were a lot of weighty, no pun, issues in those first few seasons. So
Yeah, I seem to remember that. But is it funny? Like, do you laugh?
oh
at
yes, I do. Now I don't know if that's because it's me and
How do you
because
get
of
it
this.
even? Like,
They have DVDs.
so you have DVDs of it?
Oh yes, there's like all the. I forget if I'm up to the 5th season. I think on the DVDs.
How many episodes total do you think there are?
Well, before The Simpsons, it was the longest running show on NBC.
Wow.
It had been on for like 12 years or something like that. So I don't know how many episodes per season, but there's a lot.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
Joe.
But-
I remember Joe.
Nancy McKeon.
Yeah.
And her, in real life, her younger brother, Phil McKeon, was Alice's son on Alice. That's some good trivia.
Wow.
Right there.
Little actor.
Yeah. Wait, but I'm totally blanking on what other shows I watch because there's a lot of other shows that I watch. Oh well, we can circle back to that.
Yeah.
That'll keep.
Yeah.
What did I want to ask you? Well, so how was Real Time with Bill Maher?
I loved it. It was great. He's so funny. Mm-hmm. There was really no room to disagree with anyone. Everyone was all kind of on the same side, so to speak. But he's so funny. I loved it.
Here's what I wanted to ask you, though. It seems to me like sometimes when people talk to you about Portlandia, they want to find a political angle to it. And is there one?
No, but you can find anything in anything.
Yeah.
But if people draw it back to politics, that's fine. I don't care. But like, I don't think that's where we're coming from, really. Mm-hmm. It's sort of almost non-political.
Right.
It's just stories and relationships and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because wasn't he kind of saying that? Unless I
just burped. Did you hear that? Sorry.
I did. I did. But I feel like if they did,
Sorry.
oh no, Gary's saying no. So now it's just a phantom burp that we're talking about.
It was a gentle, not a real one.
Right. Oh, he's saying we'll cut it out. No, leave the burp in. You've got to leave it in.
I bet you won't
It's
even hear
organic.
it. I bet you won't even hear it.
What are you looking at over there?
I was
see
looking
some
at that
squinting.
hat over the globe.
Oh yeah.
That is done by hand with a Bic pen by a fan.
Isn't that pretty neat?
It is extremely intricate. It's very cool.
We have very artistic fans.
That's awesome.
So Fred,
Yeah.
before you were a famous comedian, you were a famous drummer.
I was not a famous drummer.
Well, you were a drummer.
I was a drummer.
Now,
But I'm still a
you're
drummer.
famous.
I'll never not be a drummer.
But did you feel like, and I'm sure you get this question before, but you haven't gotten it from me before, so hence it is special. Did you feel like you had to prove yourself in terms of being able to do comedy and improvising and all that stuff, having not come from let's say the Groundlings or something like that?
Oh. Did I feel like I had to prove myself? That's not about...
Or did people have a different? Did people
It's not
react
about-
strangely to you since you didn't have that history?
No, people... I mean, I guess they reacted strangely, but that was just their reaction. They would just say, like, in interviews and stuff, like, oh, so you don't come from it. Or, like, maybe the people I worked with on Saturday Night Live would say, like, oh, you didn't come from comedy. But it was never a matter of having to prove myself. That's just a life thing. Like, I just wanted to succeed. Mm-hmm. You know? It had nothing to do with proving myself. It was... My background was irrelevant.
Garth and Kat.
Yeah?
How does that work?
It's always made up, and I'll just come up with a song, and Kristen follows it, or tries to follow it.
How did you guys first realize you could do that, though?
Oh, that was just a thing we kept doing in the hallways.
Okay.
Like that, there's literally, a good example of like just hanging out with your friend, making up jokes, and then, hey, why don't we do it on the show? But I would see her and I'd be like, you know that song? And she would like sing along to it.
So if anyone is listening and they don't know Garth and Kat, this is a bit you guys do on Saturday Night Live where you both sing along to the same song that you're making up as you go.
Yeah, but we keep saying that like, oh, we really rehearsed this song.
And it's
a lot.
hilarious. And it looks like you guys are having a lot of fun while you do it.
Yeah, it's the most fun ever.
Should we take a phone call?
If there are any.
There are some. Let's go to Randy. And I think that Randy has a question for me, and you can chime in.
Well, howdy there.
Hi, Randy.
I haven't seen you in quite a while. I used to watch you when you were on Red Eye, and then when you had your own little show on Ustream.
Thank you.
And I haven't seen you in quite a while, and I was just wondering, are you still with your folks?
Yes, the question is, do I still live with my parents? No, I no longer do. I moved out, and now I live up in Hollywood, closer to my job, because commuting from Orange County to Glendale was sucking the life force out of me.
Yes, but we have so much wonderful places around here in Orange County.
Oh, you live in Orange County.
Yes. we
Where
do.
in Orange County are you?
Actually, in Orange.
Oh, okay. Are you near the Orange Circle?
Just on the outskirts, and I'm living by Tustin Avenue and Fairhaven.
Wait, no, don't. You don't want to say exactly where you live because people will come and they will do stuff. They'll do bad
yes,
stuff, Randy. You don't know what kind of world we're living in.
That's true. Although I just gave a general location, and
true.
You would almost have to know Orange County to even begin to get a grasp on that location.
It's true. Well, Randy, thank you for calling. And I'm going to move on. And okay, bye, Randy. Thanks.
Well, bye, y'all.
I need to say something to the listeners, which is I want to make it clear that I did not continuously live at home from the time I was a child up until October. I went away to college, and then I came back for a couple years and did not live at home with my parents. And then I was in New York for 10 years, and then I moved back, and I was living down in Orange County until I found a place up here. And I took a little bit of extra time to do that. If you happen to be an adult who's living at home again, though, I think that is okay. And don't let other people make you feel bad about it, like me with my need to explain that I'm not doing that. Fred, have you lived with your parents recently?
Not recently, no. It's been quite a while.
How great for you. How was it when you did live at home?
It was fine. They're nice. Mm-hmm. Nice to me. Gave me a lot of freedom. I had nothing against it.
You get along with your parents?
I do.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Matt. He's from Portland. Matt?
Hey,
Hello.
what's up, best friend?
The huge. How are you doing?
I'm good. I had a question. Do you live with your parents?
I just moved back 5
No,
minutes
I'm
ago.
kidding.
I know.
My question was, I live with my parents, by the way.
Do you
Doing
really?
Good. But, see, I want to do stand-up,
Okay.
or, I don't know, I guess media entertainment. I'm not sure. And so I was really actually excited that Fred, hey, Fred,
Hello?
you got that show, Portlandia.
Yeah.
Is it still going on?
It's still going on.
My friends love it.
Oh, good,
I
good.
like it too.
That's okay. You don't have to love it. I don't.
Maybe that would. I'll try to go into this. Is there any way that anybody from the Portland area can try out for the show?
I think there is a way. There's some. I think when they start casting, the general casting company, like we sort of outsource that. They put out an ad, and I think it's everywhere because everyone seems to sign up for it. But I think like if you go to whatever local venue or forum there is for that, there you'll see something and it'll say, "Hey, Portlandia is looking for extras," and then that's and it's we do it pretty straight ahead. It's just auditions and stuff, you know.
But would it be like specific for the show, or just kind of in general?
No, they do change it up. So like they'll be like, I think it's like the way we're looking for people who look like they ride motorcycles, or we look, something for an audience for a concert or a picnic. Like I think they do get specific, but then we have so many sketches that there's always something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, what I guess I wanted to get into was how can someone start from nothing, and then, what would be the path?
It's
I don't.
it's remarkably.
You have to be a drummer.
It's remarkably easy.
I play the theremin.
It's remarkably easy. Like the answer is that there is no answer. There's no such thing as a path to get anywhere. It's like.
Well, it's funny because I know you did a sketch on how everybody does the DJ night.
Right.
I got plenty of friends like that.
Right.
And he's actually a club promoter.
Right.
And he wanted me to do stand-up. And I was thinking about doing it, but then also I was thinking like, is this going to do anything for me? Do you really have to do just
Don't do something.
Maybe at least
Don't
for experience.
don't do anything you don't want to do. If that doesn't sound like a fun time, it's a thing of like, if there's a club that you like to go to where you see a lot of stand-up and you want to be part of it, or if your friends do it and you're just like, I want to be part of this.
Did you have friends that?
Yeah.
I mean, I could get a bunch of friends that would come with me and maybe talk some laughs, but.
Yeah. Well, don't, at first, don't worry if there's not any laughs. Just do it because you're building from it. You know what I mean? Just start at the bottom. And that's kind of actually very liberating. Like, you're at square one. Let's see if you get a reaction about anything. And then keep in mind what worked, what didn't work. What did you enjoy doing? What made sense? What didn't make sense? And then you do another one, and then you do another one. And you do it only because you love it. It's the equivalent of playing the guitar. You do it because you love it. And the things that you don't like, if there's clubs you don't like, this club is too many drinkers there, then don't go there. Just make your life fun.
Were you sort of immune to failure, though? Or did you get yourself down?
For some reason, I like failure.
Not care?
I don't care. I don't care about failure because it all is part of an experience, and I don't care. Like, I enjoy my surroundings. You know what I mean? In some ways, I would say that being in a band, there were many levels of that work that were a complete failure. We played empty bars all the time. But I was with my friends.
Is this where you wish you were a drummer instead of a comedian?
What?
Do you wish you were a drummer instead of a comedian?
No, never. No, I'm happy where I'm at. But like,
did you start with maybe in the band? I know.
Yeah, I started in.
I haven't yet seen her do stand-up, or actually, I might have saw some YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Sort of
Matt, I'm going to have to awkwardly cut you off.
A phenom. But Allison, what about you? Were you nervous? Did you do a lot of writing? Because
didn't work well.
Wait. Put him on again. Is he still on? Let's just look. Are you still there?
Is he still there? Yeah.
Listen. Don't worry about questions. No one has any answers. All it is just go whatever seems fun. Find friends that laugh at what you do, and then that's all you need to know. There's no rule book. There's no right or wrong, ever. There's no right or wrong. Just go, have a good time, enjoy going to a nice place, a cafe, where they'll let you do some time on a microphone or not, and just have good people around you. That's all. There's no answers. There's zero.
Did you do any clubs in Portland?
I have done clubs in Portland, but it's irrelevant. I've also not done clubs in Portland.
Well, would that mean that I would have to move
Matt.
somewhere to kind of
Matt, calm down. Calm down.
I'm not laughing with you.
Matt, calm down. You're already there. If you like comedy, just go.
I made it.
Just go do it. It's so. I got to tell you something. It's actually easy. It's easy.
Yeah. Did you start?
It doesn't.
All right,
Matt. My beginning was so insane that it will make no sense to you.
Let's talk to Philip.
I understand.
His life is falling apart.
I wasn't yelling at him. I was just telling him that sometimes people become their own worst enemies.
They overthink things.
Yeah, I'm like,
sure.
Don't overthink it. Just go do it or not do it.
Do you ever overthink things, though? Because I actually, my friends have a name for what I do, Rosenating, which is where I become Matt. Well, no, that's not true. I don't. Okay,
I've done it on Portlandia. We've tried to think of sketches, and I overthink it, and then someone will say to me like, "Hey, chill out. Mm-hmm. Take a step back. This should be a simple sketch."
Well, that's actually something I wanted to ask you. On the Fresh Air interview, you were saying that with Thunder Ant, which was the duo, you and Carrie, where you guys were doing just videos, right?
Yeah.
Before you had the show, but was sort of the inspiration, or the inspiration for Portlandia. Is that an accurate way to say it? That you didn't feel pressure to be funny.
Yeah.
So do you now? Is that something that's constantly in your head with Portlandia?
A bit more. There's a bigger audience, so yeah, we've got to think about being entertaining. I don't subscribe to no, it doesn't matter. Or
right.
We do. Things have to have endings. We do labor over it. It's not easy. We work really hard on endings, and it's a drag.
How much?
It's full on work.
How much is it written out? How much of a script do you guys work with?
We do a blueprint. Mm-hmm. this sketch is going to be about selling your old clothes to a clothing store and how they make fun of you. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of there. When you go in, it's kind of like this. When you leave, it's like this. And then maybe there's a few exchanges. It's that kind of thing. But then when we get there, the actual dialogue is all made up.
Right. And how do you guys find guest stars?
We text them or we go through agents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they're super famous and like we just like them, that's all agents. It's like, oh, we got them. They're gonna show up. But sometimes Carrie knows a few people. I know a few people, and I just say, hey, can you come on Thursday?
And are you always sure that this person will work out? Like
no, you never know. I mean, usually it does. Everyone's worked out. Mm-hmm. There's some scheduling things that can be prohibitive.
Right. No, I don't mean in that way though. I mean like here's this famous person, and now they're on your show, and now they have to be funny.
Oh, it always works. That's just.
I guess you guys wouldn't select someone that you didn't think could be funny.
Yeah, and it's so. Yeah, it always works out. It's just it doesn't. There's enough I mean, we haven't come to that problem.
Right. And then what I love about the show is that, and you probably get this all the time, but I'll be watching and I'll be like, oh yeah, that is totally a thing, mm-hmm. and I hadn't realized it really, like putting a bird on it or all the things that you guys lampoon on there. It just makes me realize how much that you've definitely identified something in culture. But how do you figure out what you want to do a sketch about? And do you guys both equally bring in ideas?
Yeah, we both bring in ideas. Then later in the process, there's some other writers, and you just feel it in the room. Mm-hmm. Do you guys think this would be a good sketch idea? Yes, or no, we don't know what you're talking about. And both of those things have happened.
I think now we should do a segment on my show, which, by the way, in terms of
those are the only phone calls?
No, we have another one.
I feel bad about Matt, but that was his name, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted him to go out, and I wanted to encourage him. He was discouraging himself.
I know. I was getting discouraged by him.
Yeah.
He was getting more nervous as
yeah.
it went on. Do you think he's funny, though? Because I didn't...
Funny doesn't matter.
To do stand-up and comedy?
Some people do things that are, not quite comedy.
Yeah.
It's
true. He could be entertaining in a weird way.
I'll tell you something. If he performed at a club...
Frenetic way? Where he just asked questions?
Yeah. I'd actually think, I saw this crazy guy. All I did was ask questions.
And he could just be himself.
He could be himself. And then if he did 5 minutes of that, I can honestly say that would be better than someone trying to do jokes.
That's true. Matt, if you're still listening, which you will be when you download this episode.
Matt, maybe when you download this episode, your act should be just asking questions, and that'll be entertaining.
Now, would he try to answer them himself, or would he just string them together?
I say string them together.
I'm already irritated.
And
I'm not sure it's in an entertaining way.
But I think it would be funny.
Okay. It could be a statement about something.
Yeah.
Our inquisitive nature.
Or maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll start asking
Maybe you
questions.
should do it.
Yeah.
We do have Philip from San Jose, and he has a question about what to do with the fact that he is friends with his ex and she's starting to date someone. Philip?
Hey, hello.
Hello. What's going on?
I just want to say, sorry to interrupt, huge fan, first-time caller, huge fan of Fred.
Yeah.
If I ramble a lot, it's okay. It's a problem. But basically,
isn't that us that's supposed to say that?
So me and my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, we had a fabulous dating relationship, lasted about 3 years throughout high school. I ended things because I felt like it was getting really serious, and I knew I had that feeling where, okay, I want to marry this girl and go all the way, but I didn't want to be. But I was becoming 21. I didn't want to be the guy to regret being with the same person through my young years in my 20s. So that was why I ended things with her. And I thought I was doing the right thing by myself and by her, because just to release any form of regret in the future. Now, what has happened is, we went through the motions of not talking to each other, and then we started becoming friends. And long story short, came out to me that she was feeling comfortable dating again and talking to guys, and I was trying to be as objective as possible. So I was like, okay, I didn't think anything would come of it, because we've had conversations where she does still want to be with me, I still want to be with her, and eventually we do want to get back together and do the whole thing. But
so wait, how long have you been broken up?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, how long have you been broken up? When did you guys break up?
We broke up about a year and a half ago.
And what's the problem?
The problem is, she told me now she's seeing this guy and things are getting pretty serious. I know some of the details, and I don't know how to handle it.
Are you still in love with her? Is that the thing? Like, you want to be with her, and you don't want her to be dating someone else?
Yeah, if I had to say so, I would say that would be it. Because I want to be back with her, but I feel like I need to be single because I'm young in my 20s, and I really don't know.
I think
how to fully explain myself in this situation. I think unsure about everything.
Even though it's difficult, I think you might have to respect her space to let her do that, and then hope for something maybe in the future. You never know what's going to happen in the future. There's plenty of time, but it's going to hurt a little bit. But I would say you might just have to respect it and be her friend and say, good luck. And that's, I was going to say unfortunately, but I would say fortunately, that's kind of, at least you're on good terms with her. That's kind of a nice thing,
Yeah. Well, what's tricky about it is, since we've become friends again, we're starting to be physical again.
Ooh.
So that makes things sticky.
Right.
As it's understanding, but so we've been physical pretty much consistently since we started becoming friends again.
Oh, that's complicated.
And she's getting serious with someone else while she is hooking up with you. Is that right?
Yes, well, only to my extent. All she's verbally told me that it's just light petting and making out, but she says she feels like she knows she doesn't want to. She knows it's not going long term with this guy, but for her, she feels like her only two choices are to either sleep with the guy or date him.
Huh. That sounds. I can't advise. I can't advise because it sounds too. It's too complicated for me. Like I don't know these people, so I'm like. It sounds. I mean, I think many people go through it, but
yeah,
you guys have a lot of talking to do, probably.
Philip, have you dated anyone else since you guys broke up?
No, I haven't. Currently now, if I were to do any form of dating, it would be like very, very casual without a title. But I've met plenty of girls, and it's just for whatever reason I can't just get things going.
Well, I'll tell you why you can't. Because you're still involved with your ex. And I think that you made the decision that you guys should break up because you didn't want to only be with one person through your young years. And I think that you should follow through on that decision. If you felt it strongly enough at the time, then I think you should get out there and maybe date other people or decide that you're in love with her and be with her. Because right now, both of you guys are doing this thing where you have a connection to each other and you're being physical with each other, but you're saying that you're not together and you're drawing other people. Well, you're not as much, but other people are being drawn into it. And I just think there's like real connections can't really be forged under these circumstances because everyone's kind of hedging their bets and it's getting really complicated and messy. So I think it's sort of a shit or get off the pot situation. Like either decide you guys are going to give it a go again and be together or really take a break and allow yourselves to meet other people. I mean, you're young. So I would say do the latter, but I don't know.
Okay, and in terms of taking a break, you mean like sever all connection and let her do her thing? I don't get.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that you can be friends with an ex in time, but at the beginning, you do, as hard as it is, I think a clean break really helps because otherwise it's just too easy to not really get over the person. and to have that hope. And the fastest way to make it so that you would be in a position where you actually would be open to someone else is to have some time away from the person and to truly be able to move beyond it. So if you guys both really want to give it a go with dating other people, I think you really need to take a break from each other, like no contact.
Right.
I know that's hard, but that's what I would recommend.
Okay, you're right, because I really have no one to talk to about this, because no one actually knows the details. As far as everyone knows, we haven't had any contact, but of course I've been keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
I would take blame for that, but so I need to talk to a third party. So you were it. I definitely agree with everything you're saying. You actually helped me a lot.
All right. Well, good luck and hang in there.
And,
Thanks a lot.
And also, you know how you haven't talked to anyone about it? It's okay to talk to people about it. You know, you might get more help from people around you. You'd be surprised how common. You don't have to feel so alone. I think that's probably pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why I'm so worried about it is everyone, well, at least on my end, that I would talk to about it, they're so opinionated about the situation.
But maybe there's a good friend who isn't so opinionated. Maybe there's like one person, maybe not, I don't know. But sometimes you do find that one person who can really, won't give you a hard time about it.
Right. Okay, I'll definitely put this in effect, and thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gary, did you have something? Or now am I just putting you in an uncomfortable situation?
God, you're good at that.
No, I was gonna jump in, and it sounded like it was one of those situations where during the breakup you tell all of your close friends things that you can never turn around and go back on. So
right.
Now, you know, they all view this chick as negative.
Right, right. You know, I'm going to ask Fred a question because I'm still thinking about this. On our most recent episode with James Gunn, there was a caller who called in. He was 15 years old, and he had a crush on his best friend, a girl. And he felt like he wanted to tell her. Mm-hmm. And James was like, yeah, you definitely should tell her because, you know, if you want to be the kind of guy who dates a lot of women, then you have to get over this idea that it matters what her response is going to be.
Oh, interesting.
It was really interesting.
That's
And it was
very
really kind of liberating, and it was completely opposite to what I was thinking, which is, and I actually said this, I feel like because of movies, we have this idea that if you like someone, just tell them. But the truth is that in real life, I think, more often than not, when you tell them, they already knew. And then it makes things weird, and then you regret telling them maybe. And so I had my instinct or my gut reaction was to be much more sort of playing it close to the vest and a little more like protected about it. And yet I'm not sure that's right either. Like I do think that there is something to this idea that the stakes aren't so high. You know,
Right.
If you like someone, tell them, and maybe they don't like you back, and like that's okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your philosophy?
I
on
like that. There's another good reason for that. Is sometimes if you say it, it becomes less of a big burden, like a big monster to yourself. Like when you say, it, you're like, oh, that's all that I was like so nervous about saying.
Yeah.
So what? You know, like it's not that. It's okay. It's just a crush or whatever. So it kind of deflates it a little bit, which is nice because then that's done, and that tension. I think the tension is the thing that.
I think you're right.
You know, once that's all that tension is gone, it's like, well, okay, well,
Right.
now we actually have to talk about something.
Yeah, I think the times of my life where I've done that, it's never gone as I wanted it to.
Right.
But I don't actually, I mean, at the time I might have regretted it, maybe a little, well, no, maybe I didn't. But it always helped get me to the next phase of life a little faster. Because in not telling someone, you're hanging on to, like, I want to keep the status quo. I
Right.
want to keep, I mean, this is when I was much younger. I want to keep hanging out with you in this platonic but flirty way. And then when I get alone with my friends, I will tell them everything you said, and then we'll figure out what it means. That's what I used to do.
And how'd that work out for you?
Well, that's why my friends came up with the term
That's what
rosinating.
Dr. Phil always says.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Dr. Phil. That
Sorry,
guy.
I didn't mean to bring him up. Didn't mean
No,
to
it's
bring him
okay. It's Dr. Phil that I'm talking about, actually. just love him.
It
Yeah,
does make
that's-
it does help you move on a little bit because when you get the answer that's like, oh, I don't think this is really going to happen,
Right.
then something inside you does kind of change. You're like, well, all right, that's that. I'll always really like you, but apparently it's not that mutual.
Right.
So It's kind of not a relief, but part of you does start steering away.
Yeah. What, Gary?
Can I weigh in on this?
Yes, please.
Okay. I listened to that call a couple times while I was editing it
Mm-hmm.
because what I took away from it at the end was that I wish somebody had tapped me on the shoulder when I was 15 or 16 and told me that. And I definitely wouldn't have listened at 15 or 16 because my high school was small, and if that hadn't worked out, it would have, I would have had to move or something.
Right.
But once I got into college where there was, I went to a big college, there's 40,000 people everywhere. Like, if I had the knowledge that, the worst thing that can happen is somebody said no. I mean, I guess I sort of knew that, but if somebody older had told me that, it would have been invaluable because then it's just, kind of a numbers game. It's just, whoever you find attractive or you think you might be good with, you tell them, and if they say no, it's like, great, well, try again, and one out of every however many is going to hit.
Right.
And that, I think for a young guy, that's good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Did you get that kind of good advice? What was your young dating life like?
I didn't start as early as I would have liked to have. Mm-hmm. So I started a little late, like last year in high school, beginning of college. I didn't get any advice or any good advice. I could have used it.
Were you a late bloomer? I was a late bloomer.
I was a frustrated late bloomer. Like, I wanted to date more, but I just didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. What were you like in high school?
Friendly. I was a punk. I had like a mohawk and loved music.
Did you put egg whites in it, or what did you use to
No,
sculpt
sometimes
it?
you could put soap in it.
Oh,
Dry,
interesting.
Like, get just a bar of soap and just kind
Right.
of like spike it up. But I played music with my friends. I had really good friends who I loved very much and still do. And I enjoyed my teenage years a lot. Mm-hmm. I look back on them fondly. I had a really good time.
Do you feel like, is there any chunk of your life where you feel like, oh, those were like the best days? Because
No, present today. And I know it sounds like hokey and spiritual or whatever, but like, for some reason, my life keeps getting better and better. For some reason, I don't know what it is, and it's like everything is more the way I want it. So all of a sudden,
That's great.
it's just
That's
insane.
awesome.
Like, I used to love Sleater Kinney a long time ago, and then but I wanted to be on TV, and then now I get to do both together at the same time, and get to be on. I love doing comedy. I feel lucky to do comedy even for a minute. I feel lucky all the time. And then my days here in LA, it's like it's a dream. So I think this feels like the most exciting day.
How did you meet Carrie?
But did I interrupt a point of yours? I feel like I kind of just forged ahead with what I was saying.
I like that you did that. I
Okay.
admire that.
All right.
You
I feel like
keep
I interrupted
forging.
you.
I don't think it was anything good that I
Okay.
can't come back to. So yeah, how did you meet Carrie, with whom you do Portlandia, Carrie of Sleater Kinney?
We had some mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 2003, we'd known about each other a little bit. But then I just invited her to an SNL, Saturday Night Live party, and then she came, and I knew the drummer for Sleater Kinney, Janet. But I met Carrie, and it was an instant thing. Like, it was very strange. I really did think, like, oh, this is my friend. And then we were friends. And I'd go visit her, and she was just instant friend and very close.
Was there ever any ambiguity about your relationship?
No, it was definitely, that's what it was. And that's been the DNA of the relationship since day one, and it's still like that. And that's the reason it's lasted.
Now, here's where I awkwardly insert myself into that story. I saw you in New York at this. I mentioned this to you like a year ago. At that restaurant, Mexican Radio, during CMJ.
Okay.
We were both at the same function.
Right.
And I realized, and you were there with Carrie, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I think that must have been shortly after you guys met each other, if you met in 2003, because I think that's around when that was.
Oh, then that might be right.
See, I was there for all of it,
Yeah.
but just for that one night, and we didn't talk because I didn't actually know you. But anyway, how crazy is that?
That's pretty. It's crazy, but it's
not
also
that.
it makes some sense.
Yeah, it does. Also, when you were on the Adam Carolla show a year ago, you and I bonded over the fact that neither of us had had general anesthesia, and we were both afraid of it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I have since faced that fear.
What happened?
I had to have some. This is a not interesting story, which I've told too many times on the show, but I'll tell it again. I had to have some ovarian cysts removed, and they have to do that under general. Wow. So yeah, and this is what I can say about that, because everyone was like, "Oh, you'll love it." I didn't love it, and it was not as like I thought it would be like, or I had come to accept that it's sort of like the lights being turned off and turned back on. That's consciousness, but it really wasn't. It was more like there was some flickering, and it was really, I mean, not like once I was out, I didn't wake up during it or anything, which I stories like that, I don't think they're true. I guess what I mean is, as I was coming to afterwards, it was just really surreal and weird, and sort of like, you know, that feeling when you're waking up from a dream, everything begins to just make a little more sense as you become more and more awake from that moment where when you're first like becoming awake, everything seems weird. It was like the more awake I got, the more surreal everything felt, because I just felt like I was like, I felt like I could feel them kind of like the first like tingles of consciousness that I had as I was coming to afterwards. I felt like they moved me onto a gurney or onto a table or off the table or something. And then I was sort of like just really out of it, and I was in a lot of pain. And I felt like I was like naked at a party. Imagine that feeling of like just very like I'm too vulnerable to be in public right now. Like, and I kept trying to sort of piece things together. But I knew that I had just had surgery, and I knew that I was waiting to find out like what they had found in there, because they didn't exactly know what they were going to find. But I wasn't curious enough to want to find out right away. Like beforehand, I was so afraid of that moment where I wake up and then I find out like, was it cancer or what was it, and how will I find out fast enough? And instead, it was like, I opened my eyes, and it was, I've said before, it was sort of like knowing that there's an email in your computer that you want to read, but you're just like too lazy to go to it. Like I knew that I wanted that there was an answer waiting for me, but I just didn't care enough to go find it. And then also, here's the weird thing though. Like everything I said, there were a lot of curse words in what I was saying. I would hear myself, and I was like, it's so weird that at this like very like unevolved sort of sub level of consciousness, I'd be like, I want to get the fuck out of here. Like I just kept saying bad words. It's almost like Tourette's. I mean, not really, but that was weird to me. I was like, why am I so crass?
Because it's not that you're crass. I think you're just censoring yourself less.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maybe.
I think
you're probably right. Yeah, and I think I was speaking from a like not a lot of cognitive function controlling what I'm saying, like what you're saying. It was just these very sort of like short sentences of statements about like, you know, I think I'm ready to go.
And what were the results of the test?
Oh, it was no cancer or anything. It's endometriosis, which is something that a fair amount of women have, where some of the uterine tissue starts growing on other organs and stuff. But it can cause infertility. But luckily, my tubes were beautifully clean, is what they said. So I'll be able to have babies someday.
Oh, great.
And tell them this wonderful story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or they think I will be. So yeah, it was all really good news. And if I ever have to have general anesthesia again, I won't be nearly as afraid of it. So if you ever have to have it, I would say don't be afraid. But if people tell you that it'll just be like on off, they're lying to you.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So here's a question that someone emailed me. It has to do with a dog. And I think that we should help this person. I hope it's not too late. Alison, My wife's ex came to our house last night, and our boxer mix, Blake, got out of his harness and attacked him. This was the third time he's gone after him in 2 years. This time an ER visit was needed to get the arm checked out. Nothing serious, but still needed doctor care. I took some collateral damage to my fingers and forearm, but once separated, the dog didn't come after me. Blake is such a sweet dog in the house and won't attack family members, but it was very difficult for the two of us to wrestle the dog down and stop the attack. My wife thinks it's time to put him down, but the thought of it breaks my heart. What do I do? I think we could start muzzling him when he's around people, but I know if he went after someone who's not understanding, we could be in serious trouble. Logically, I know it's best for him to go, but emotionally, he's my 3-year-old rescue who was abused at some point, but is always so loving to us, but we're scared of how he can react around others. Thanks, and the podcast is great. And he signed it, his name, which I'm going to say is Max, even though it's not. Max, who really just wants someone to tell him what he wants to hear. I have an opinion about what he should do. What do you think?
Putting a dog down, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
The part that's puzzling to me is the very beginning, that he got out of something, a cage, did you say?
Out of his harness.
Yeah, well, that's got to change. I mean,
Right.
Like
It's in a
when
better
people are
harness.
around, he's got to be, in a harness or in a different part of the house, or just definitely separated. I mean, it's an animal, so that's what has to happen.
And I think they should consult some kind of dog trainer.
Absolutely.
Some kind of dog whisperer, Cesar Millan type person who has experience working with aggressive animals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That exists.
And do that soon before your dog kills someone.
Yeah.
See, I like little dogs. I like big dogs that are trained, but big dogs that are not trained scare me because, a lot of things scare me, including the
You're a
idea.
scared person.
I'm kind of but so strong inside, except also kind of like Jell-O. I think we should do Just Me or Everyone, which is a segment we do on this show. And someone on iTunes said, this show is good if you like segments, which was, they meant it in a this show's not good and I don't like segments way. But I like segments. So to them I say...
thanks for paying attention, and thanks for writing. Thanks for writing about it.
No, that's not really what I say.
No, but you should.
I know.
It's like, thank you. Whatever attention you want to pay to it.
Is that your attitude towards the haters?
Yeah,
Do you
love
have
it.
them?
I'm very disciplined in not looking at comments.
Ooh, this is what I need to
I'm
hear.
really, I've got such a good discipline.
How? Where did you get it? Because I'm very,
I want to make my days good. No, I go if I see an article, I physically stop where the comments start. I go, oh, don't need to see it. And all of a sudden my day's better.
God, I start where the comments start.
Stop. I just stop it. Everyone writes bad comments about everybody, so join the club,
I try to keep that in mind. Like, I'll look at anyone else who has a number of followers on Twitter, say, and then I'll look at some of their at replies, and I'm like, ooh, vicious.
Everybody.
That's awful.
Your heroes. Look up your heroes, and even then you're
Yeah.
like, what? You're
I
going to say something
know.
bad about that person? You're out of your mind. So it's great. It's like, let it become white noise.
How did it not start that way for you, though?
It did not. At first, I was like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Okay.
And that was troubling. And it took a bit of work.
Mm-hmm.
It took a little bit like, let's do this. And then eventually, it takes a little while. You just make it a rule. You make it a
Okay,
rule.
this is good. I'm a caller. I'm calling into the show that you're on, and I'm asking your advice. How do I get to the point where this doesn't upset me? Because right now, I was actually just talking about this on the Adam Carolla show earlier. I was saying that it's like the negative stuff just sits in my head and is bringing me distress, and I'm well aware that I should be able to control it or do something about it because I'm giving it way too much importance.
Well, you're giving it too much power.
Yeah.
Picture, say you see an article or something or whatever, or there's a place where there's going to be comments.
Like the message boards that I go to.
Whatever it is, picture yourself 5 minutes later. Do you want to feel good or do you want to feel bad? And you just go like, I could shut this down and I'll feel good. Just try it. Believe me, I know it's hard.
I know.
Just you can actually you could do it. You could just
right, because you never feel good afterwards. The best you feel is not bad.
Right.
And that is rare to walk
you
away
see
feeling
something good,
not bad.
and you just keep going to find something bad.
Yes.
But you'd be surprised if you say, "I'm going to do it." You just do it. You click. You go, what a cool picture. That's great. I'm done. Click. And then it actually works. You're like, oh, that was it.
Now,
assume that the first comment's going to be horrible, and then go, I don't feel like having a bad day today.
now, what about the part of you that's like, I want to know what they're saying, though?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what, just...
You're right, because it's,
My assumption is it'll be good and bad, and then great for the good ones, and then it just,
Because I don't think anything good comes from tailoring your performance or your show or your whatever to appease the comments. And that's what I've started realizing. Because when I'm choosing news stories to do on the Adam Carolla show, I'll look at a story and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to get all sorts of comments if I do that. And it's like,
no, it's a
then
bad
I
way to
stop
be.
myself and I think, I can't, like, I'm not doing a show for these 5 people that hate me no matter what. I'm doing a show for all, the rest of everyone that's not commenting or that is. So I know that if I give it too much power, then I'm in danger of fucking with something that people are enjoying, and I don't want to do that. But I actually, and I've had this realization a lot and a long time ago, and it's funny that I'm still in this, or that I'm back in this place. But I realize that it's like, I've been in relationships where, like unhealthy ones, where you get to the point where you're like, this whole enterprise is leaving me in a worse place than if it wasn't in my life. Like, as hard as it is to walk away from this person, every time I see them, I feel a little worse than before. And the only thing that makes me feel, for me, in the fucked up relationships I was in, is like the only thing that makes me feel better is seeing them again. And then it's like, it's just this really bad pattern.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what reading these comments is like. It's like something that you can identify in your life that is an unhealthy behavior. I have to get rid of it.
It's also boring. Just, the comments are all kind of the same.
Yeah.
They have the same tone. It's never well done. It's just like, it's actually dull. Just like the way people write. And you've got to be a very special kind of loser to write a negative comment.
Mm-hmm.
That means you've got nothing going on in your life that you're like, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, I don't understand
the things
it.
I hate the most, I would never write a comment either way. Maybe I'd write something nice about someone, but
No, I never
but
would
something
either.
you hate, you just ignore. Why write a comment? I don't like this, or
I know.
This-
and then people will be like, well, you're just paying attention to them. You're just giving, like, this is what they want, but whatever.
skip it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it can be done, and it's amazing. It feels really good.
To be free of the compulsion or to control a compulsion, which is the good feeling.
It's like realization that you don't have to do it at all. It's your computer. You can go wherever you want. Just like, you don't have to like dwell on something like that. Then just go to like Gizmodo or something, and you're like, oh, what a nice day I'm having.
What would I do with all my free time, though?
It does give you a lot of more free time.
I want to do that, and you know what? I think I have to just go cold turkey. I think I have to just start. I just have to pick a day and be like, this is...
Don't be... Do it a one day at a time thing. Pick a day or pick a night. Like tonight, I'm not going to do that. And then the next day, do it day by day.
Yeah.
Don't think of it as cold turkey. Then you'll be
too
like...
severe.
Too severe. Just
Just
tonight.
Lukewarm chicken.
It's an experiment, and you do it, and I'm
Hot
telling you, it's just weird. You just go, and then you just go on to
Something else.
your emails, and then
okay, here's the thing, though. Everywhere not to be melodramatic, but everywhere I turn, there's some portal through which negative shit can slip, such as, like, people will send me shitty emails. Not that
my
much
friends
on
know not to do that.
You will see, my email address
friends
is
not
easy to
to.
find for people. So...
Well, so knowing that, shouldn't your first step be to try to stop seeking it out?
Yes.
Because then you're still going to get a portion of it that's going to come whether you like it or not.
You're right.
So maybe your first step, your one day at a time, is to, I'm not going to go to the Mahalo boards today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
That's the Adam Carolla message boards. People are vicious. Yeah, you're right. I know.
You go there out of habit. You don't have to. You just
It's
turn
more
away.
than habit. It's habit plus compulsion. It's like, I have to find out what negative things people think about me or something. It's something fucked up and like deep and sick within me. I'm aware of this. So it's that, and then when it's not that, it's just like an idle, like, oh, I wonder if anyone thought something I said was funny. And then it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's fucked up. I've given it too much time already right here, and I've wasted your time with it, Fred. See?
It's okay.
See what I've done?
We all learn from it. And I understand it. I mean, I've done it, but I've had a good time since.
Yeah. I want to start having better days.
Yeah. It
Okay.
works.
Thanks, you guys. I think we should do Just Mirror Everyone, which is a segment we do on the show. But first, I want to tell everyone about GameFly. GameFly is the video game rental system that delivers to your door and now directly to your PC. See, you could sit in front of your computer playing video games instead of seeking out awful shit. Over 8,000 games, including new titles like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Batman Arkham City, and The Elder Scrolls. Delivery right to your home, no late or shipping fees. Monthly price is a fraction of what a new game would cost in stores. So, if you enjoy video games, this is like a Netflix for video games. GameFly. My listeners get a free 15-day trial. Just go to gamefly.com/Rosen, and there is a banner on my website, AlisonRosen.com. Do you play video games?
Yes.
You do? What ones do you play?
Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto.
Oh.
Good taste.
Yeah, I love them.
I
I love every Grand Theft Auto. Every single one.
Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
Not yet.
It looks really good. I'd suggest checking it out. It's about 2 minutes long. Looks real good.
What is it on Rockstar Games?
Uh-huh. GTA 5.
That's where to look for the trailer?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I just started playing Draw Something on my iPad. Do you know about this? It's sort of like Pictionary.
Yeah, but you do it with someone and they're drawing
Yes.
something at the same time, right?
Not exactly at the same time. Like you draw something and
they're
then you hit
guessing
done. Yeah, then they guess. It's pretty fun. It's
Yeah.
not a real video. It's not video games like you guys are talking about. It's more like video games for people who don't play. It's more like a thing for people who don't for people who don't play video games. There's a game.
Yeah.
You know, just like that. That's my commercial for them. They're not a sponsor, but anyway.
Yeah.
I still want to.
You did mention the iPad.
I did. Okay, Just Mirror Everyone. This is where we talk about things that we think or do, where we wonder, is it just me, or does everyone do this?
Oh, wow.
It's intense. We took some submissions over Twitter, and we have a song. So here's the song.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
First, I'm going to go. I have one, which is, I don't know if I do it every night, but pretty frequently, if I'm sleeping in my bed and I can't sleep, I will get up and then I'll go sleep on the couch for a couple hours. And then I'll wake up there and then I'll get up and I'll go back into my bed. And I go back and forth. I'm going to guess that not everyone does that.
I don't do that.
I don't know why I do it. I started doing it when I lived in Brooklyn. I think that it might have to do with noise that I'm hearing but I'm not aware of, because I'm a pretty light sleeper. So I think if it gets too noisy in my bedroom, then I'll go to the living room where it's a little quieter. And then if all of a sudden it's noisy there, then I'll go back into my bedroom.
Wow. I'll sometimes fall asleep on the couch, but that's just a different story. It's watching TV and you just fall asleep.
Yeah. And then once you're back in your bed, you just sleep all the way through the night like a real grown-up.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary, do you do any weird sleep shit?
No, not frequently like that. I've done that before. I've woken up and moved to my couch, but that seems dangerous in your new home.
Because there's stairs
involved.
Yeah.
That seems. I'm not happy with that one. I don't like that one. That scares me. I'm gonna get a call that your neck's broken or something.
I know. I actually slipped on the bottom step the other day, and I caught myself before I fell because I was wearing socks, and I just almost ate it. So now I'm very careful where I step, and I cleaned the stair really well because I thought maybe it got, I don't know, dusty or something. So thank you for your concern.
You're welcome.
All right, here are the Just Me or Everyone's that people sent in on Twitter. I'm trying to figure out where to start. Okay, Chris Taylor S., I think that's Chris Taylor's show, says, I always put the vinegar on first and the oil on second because I think the oil seals in the vinegar. I think that's just you. Fred?
I don't know that.
You don't have a
that
order?
That one I've never heard of.
Gary?
No, never heard such a thing.
Okay. Denial Twister 31 says, noticing how nice it feels sometimes to sneeze. It's like a nasal pleasure explosion.
I've heard that, but I don't know if I agree with it, but I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't have any sort of nasal orgasm, but I feel like it's quite a relief.
There are definitely times that you sneeze that are more that feel like it's more out of your system than others.
Yes. Yes. I don't like the big wind up and then the
Yeah.
It's like, where did it go? And also I've noticed that my mom has this habit of like, I'll do the pre-sneeze like, and then she'll go, bless you, before I sneeze, and then it makes the sneeze go away. I had to tell her not to do that. Have you guys ever noticed that? That if someone says bless you ahead of time, it like scares the sneeze away?
I've never been discouraged from a sneeze.
That's happened to me before, but the one that usually gets me is I sneeze 6 or 7 times in a row. So
Oh, you're one
I'll
of
get
those.
I'll get 3 bless yous, and then I sneeze 2 more times, and I stop, and somebody's like, "Fuck off!" Like Dawson and Lynch have come to that. So
I don't like when I'm coughing and someone pats you on the back like it's going to help. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm like, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you ever known someone who you like and then you hear them sneeze and then you have to figure out how you actually feel about them? Like someone who has a sneeze that's cutesy, like, damn. Or not, like that was more tolerable than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the squeaky, like some people sneeze like that. Huh, huh, like that. Like that.
I can't remember being
Thrown
turned
by
off
someone's
by that, yeah.
beepy oh wait, but you know, so you haven't been turned off by it, but so you've known people who beep sneeze.
I think so. I've had, but my sneeze is so crazy that I'm worried more about my subjecting other people to it.
What is your sneeze
I
like?
just hold it in hard.
Oh, do you kind of beep?
No, there's no beep. It's silent.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I hold my nose.
So you don't
I do that.
sneeze?
Yeah.
Like when you need to sneeze, you just hold your nose?
Yeah. When I'm around people.
In the privacy of your own home, do you sneeze?
Then a little more out of my mouth.
Are you ever, like you sneeze in the middle of lunch and you spit food?
No, I control it. I don't ever spit
You're
food.
very controlled, aren't you?
A little bit.
Have you ever heard the opposite of what you're talking about? The little beep, cough or sneeze. Have you heard the whip crack sneeze? Where
What
it
is
will-
that?
This is what my mother does. Like, it will literally make you jump from like 3 rooms away.
My dad has that. I'm like, Dad, you're not sneezing. You're just yelling.
It's like a silent wind up, and then all of a sudden it's just like it's like a whip cracking followed by a normal sneeze. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Wow.
And it scares the shit out of me. Like my mom has taken to apologizing after she sneezes because it's so scary.
Yeah. No, my dad has a little less finesse than that. It's just like, huh! But much louder than that. Like, I think that he just kind of opens up his vocal cords as he sneezes and just yell. I don't know. It's awful. No human being should make that kind of sound. Okay. Let's see. M. Bush 5280 says, I worry about my wedding ring, any ring, I guess, I only wear the one, falling off while hanging my hand out of the car window. I'm going to say that's just you as well, because I've never worried about I feel like your ring might be loose. 'Cause I don't hang my hand out the car window that much, but if I did, I wouldn't worry about a ring falling off. Anyone here?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the ring's too loose.
Right. Okay. Landon Witten says, the more someone uses the word amazing, the less I trust their taste. Yes.
I agree.
I
Even
agree.
the word genius, too.
Or, you know what else? A word that's used all the time on television, tremendous.
Yeah, all that. Anything too big, I will agree.
And I've noticed also on television, instead of saying yes, people will often say absolutely. It's like they feel like yes isn't splashy enough. Like, Fred, are you having a good time in town?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. But see, I believed you when you said that. You sold it. All right. Chuck Rampart says, watching all the old shows stored in my DVR often feels like a bigger chore than a lot of my actual chores. Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, I have one related to this. I recently just had to get a new box from my cable provider. I've had the same one for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sent me the new one, it was a new DVR, and I didn't think it through. I just unplugged it, put the new one in, put it in the box, and sent it away. And now I feel like I've forgotten shows that I like to watch that I used to have DVR'd because I had like 45 things in my queue. And I've like built back up the main 15 or 20, but I know it was 40-something shows, and I'm at like 22, and I'm done. I can't think of anything else.
It's like if you're a crazy Lothario and you lose your little black book.
It's exactly
You're like, I
what it
used to
is.
like sleeping with more people than just these main 35 or whatever.
That's exactly how I feel.
Or it's like when your phone changes over and you lose all these text messages.
Yes.
And you're like, damn it, I know I was texting with this one person.
That address was in my text messages yesterday.
But then it corrects itself somehow, though. Then you're like, oh yeah, but then they just wrote back and I'm okay.
Right. See, I feel like all this stuff has to do with decluttering your life. I carry around a lot of clutter in my head and in my house and in my life and in my purse. I'm pretty cluttered. You guys? I feel like you're probably not as cluttered. Fred, you're probably not cluttered at all.
No, there's bits of clutter here and there. I wish I could say that I was completely clutter free.
Yeah. All right. MJSPDX. There's probably that probably stands for something that's...
Maybe someone from Portland.
I bet. I love being alone, yet miss being in social situations.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Couldn't agree.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Love being alone, but when there's something going on, I'm like, aw.
Yeah. You know what? I miss wanting to be in social situations. Like, I feel like I like being alone too much, and I wish I were more social. I wish I wanted to be more social. I guess I'm alone in that one.
No, I'm with you.
It's similar.
Yeah.
To what she's saying.
I have to remind myself to accept invitations.
Yeah.
People like ask me to do something, and it's like, well, okay, but I only get like one night off a week, so.
I know. That's the thing is I don't want to schedule, like on the one night off, I don't want to schedule something because then it feels like I have no nights off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
I know. It feels like work a little bit. You're like, I got to go to this thing.
And then after I go, though, I'm always happy that I went, and I think I can't believe I almost didn't do that.
Yeah, like my friend called me today and said, it's my birthday on Friday. Can we go play golf, and then I'll take you to dinner with my parents? And I was like, yeah, okay.
Like that person was trying to sell you on it. You're like, why? That's not supposed to. That doesn't sound good to me.
Right.
Then I got to go to dinner.
Someone else is going to pay for it? Yeah, it was just like everything about it was
Why don't we
good.
just do the golf?
Like I'm an avid golfer, like, but it seemed like a chore. Like
Yeah.
it was two things, and it was too much.
Too much.
Okay, Randy Lawson. Hi, Randy says, fantasize about who'd play them in a movie.
Randy's called into our show before.
She has. That's why she got the special hi. Hope it'd be Natalie Portman, but no, it'd be Jodie Sweetin. That's funny. I don't actually fantasize about who would play me in a movie. And I think this has to do with what I was saying before about I just don't know what my face looks like. In general, I'm very unclear on how I come off and how I come across. So therefore, I'm never like, oh, that person would be good playing me in a movie or whatever.
Yeah, I don't fantasize about this at all, but
yeah, me neither.
Since she just brought it up, I feel like it would be someone big and goofy like Rob Riggle or Will Ferrell, just because I'm a big dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
those would be good for you.
That'd be awesome. Listen, those would be amazing.
Yeah.
Great, humorous actors.
Fred, do you any thought given to this about who would play you in a movie?
Juliette Binoche.
Oh, that's good.
Audrey Tattoo.
Both, so someone impish and a woman.
I don't see them that way.
All right, Mr. Show. Does everyone else leave a few squares of TP in the pot before pooping?
No.
It prevents splashback and streaking.
Never.
No, never.
No.
Has that ever even crossed anyone's
No,
mind?
never. What kind of toilet do you have, sir?
What is soaked up type paper thin? What is that doing?
Well, I mean, is he right? Does that prevent splashing?
Why is that not a problem?
It's never.
No. What?
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Does he go to the bathroom in an elementary school?
Maybe there's a lot of velocity he's dealing with.
I guess so. Splash.
Is this Matt Fondelier's alternate account?
I know. Yeah, no, I've never thought to do that. It seems wasteful of the toilet paper and just strange.
Yeah, very strange.
So can I add one more of my own?
Yes, please.
I just came up with this the other day when I was driving around with my friend. If I am driving from point A to point B, and I want like a bottle of water or something that's not absolutely necessary, it's just like, I would like a drink, I will pass places that are on the left-hand side of the road because I don't want to have to cross traffic twice to keep going in the direction I was going. And I'll wait for somewhere that's on the right.
I get that.
If I have an empty tank of gas and I need to get gas, I'll do that.
Okay, good. So I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
You're
that's not crazy.
No. Well, there you go. It looks like most people, it's just them. I think it's around time to wrap this one up, but I just have to consult my list of questions and topics for Fred Armisen to see if there's anything important here that we didn't get to. Let's see, complicated drumming technique, which is very funny. People should go check that out. Let's see. Oh, here. Okay, you're funny and you're a musician. How do you feel about funny music?
It works sometimes.
But you would never really do it, right?
I would never do it, but it's a very gray area, actually. Some stuff is like, I just now said that I would never do it, but would I be part of something that was anything like Spinal Tap? Hell yes. How great was Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
Is there anything better? No.
Is that your favorite of all things?
It's not a matter of my favorite. I think everyone will agree that it's the greatest rock comedy mix ever.
Right. Right, but that's like satire / parody as opposed to what I'm thinking of, which is it's not really a send up.
Right.
It's the funny thing is I'm thinking it's more like Weird Al, and yet Weird Al is parody, satire, and stand up.
It's too gray. It's all blurry and gray.
Well, but it's like
if something's good, it's good.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good. Like, what can you do?
But I guess I mean like sort of silly, quirky, like they might be Giants-y type, like, hi, I'm Fred Armisen being Fred Armisen playing music that is funny.
It sounds a lot like Garfunkel and Oates.
Oh, but see, I think they're funny.
Yeah, see? I mean, if it's done well.
I'm hoist on my own petard here.
There's stuff on Portlandia that are just jokes. I mean, Dream of the 90s is a joke.
And I love that. And I loved the second season version of that.
1890s.
That was amazing.
That's a joke too, really. I mean, like, I'd like to pretend like it's, higher art than that, but it's not. It's just a joke song.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's higher art. It's the highest of art.
I'd love
fine art. That was a fine art song.
I'd love to believe it, but it is music comedy.
Yeah, okay.
When you get down to it.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about, Fred, that you didn't get to express?
No, I think we covered. I think I got to express myself quite a lot.
There was a lot of Fred.
Yeah.
But also just the right amount.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's late, and if you're on New York time, it's even later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything you want to plug? I know that there's a third season of Portlandia will be coming after you film it.
That's the other thing I was doing here. We're starting to write that. I'm gonna give you a kiss on the cheek. Here's another one. Kiss on your cheek.
That's so continental.
Kiss your forehead. High five. Another high five. Low five. Double side. There we go. All right. Shake hands. There we go. Huge hug. Pat on the back. Now you pat me. All right. Quick jump up and down. Us two. Oh, there we go. Turn around. And one more slap. There we go. Thumbs up, both of us. And another kiss on the cheek.
I feel so limber now. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening. Gary, we try to give Gary a nickname on every show, but we only do it on some shows. So do you have one for him? His name is Gary Smith. While you think about that.
No, I'm going to tell right now. It's it's Dr. God.
Dr. God?
Because he's like watching over, but he's like a doctor kind of. So he's like Dr. God.
I like it. It's a little from left field, and I like that about it. How do you feel about that, Gare?
I'm wondering if the fact that my cross was sticking out of my shirt played into it.
Oh, did it?
No, it was just where he was.
I like it.
You just cast a kind of medical, ethereal thing. You'd have that going for you. So you guys, you know what you should do? I'll tell you what you should do. You should go to Amazon because you should click through the banner on my site for Amazon because that will help the show. And you're going to go there anyway and you're going to buy stuff because everyone buys stuff on Amazon. But if you click through my site, then that sends a few cents my way and then I can go out and buy puppies.
You have plenty of money.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Who are you kidding?
I'm sitting on a mountain of money.
I have a nickname for you, the Millionairess.
I like it, but people aren't going to realize you're joking, and then therefore they're going to think that I'm actually some kind of millionairess.
She has so many rings. It's weird. It's a lot of rings.
I can barely bend my fingers from the weight of all my rings.
All rings.
I know.
How could you not be worried about those things coming off when you hang your hand out the
I
window?
I know.
That's because she has a driver, because she's the Millionairess.
I would love to have a driver. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I make my first 1,000. I'm going to get a driver because I'm tired of driving. I'm not good at it. It takes away from my texting and my drinking. I mean, I don't really drink very much, but if I did, then you're what's going on? Your jaw's on the floor.
How dare you?
How dare I what? Text and drive?
Yeah.
Everyone does that except for people who signed Oprah's contract. He's looking for backup.
Well, he's going to get it because you text me while you're driving all the time.
How do you know?
Because you say, I'm in the car right now. I'll send you that email when I get home.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, I'll either get a ticket or die. But until then, I'm getting a lot done. Do you never?
No, don't die.
Okay, I'll try not to. But do you never text and drive?
I pull over.
You do not. Do you really? You do not.
It's not out of a moral high ground. It's
fear.
Fear and like it's too scary. I'll tell you what I do. Just so I'm not trying to paint a perfect picture of myself. I do look at maps on my iPhone when I'm lost.
See, I do that too, but do you think that's as bad as texting?
No.
It is because for a moment you're looking at the name of the street. You're like, I'm on. What the? It's Alvarado. No, this is Olive. No. And in that moment, you're kind of in your phone. So I'm not saying it as a high ground thing. I will admit that the maps still kind of draw me in a little bit.
Yeah, because the times that I've actually almost hit another car while I've been driving because I'm on my phone have been when I'm looking at a map. For some reason, that seems to take more concentration than texting.
Yeah.
But they're probably all bad.
Yeah.
I haven't played any sort of game on my phone while I'm driving, although I've been very tempted in traffic. So it's not like I'll do anything unsafe. See?
Yeah.
I'm redeeming. I should be redeemed. Now I'm redeemed.
Yeah.
All right. Fred, thank you. Gary, thank you. Listeners, thank you. Allison, thank you. Bye, you guys. I love you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Fred.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time. Now we gotta go. Thank you for watching the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
week.